And as I was going through this queue, suddenly a random thought came to me, and the thought was that it will be nice if somebody told Swami's name. And in middle of nowhere, I had that thought, and now my mind is thinking about that thought. Now I want that assurance that Swami is with me. Somebody tell that name, and nobody will know that because nobody is calling you by name. You all have a token number. And I was with this thought struggling because now I wanted that assurance. And you not believe, there was a pillar and there was a phone attached to the pillar, and that phone rang.
Sairam, dear listeners, welcome to Sai SOUL 100. Our guest today is Brother Sai Prabhu Prem Kumar, who's joining us from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Sairam, Sai Prabhu, thank you for joining Sai SOUL 100.
Sairam Prabha, Sairam listeners.
Sairam, thank you. Please share your story.
So I want to start with this very famous quote, Mata Pita Guru Devam. And it has two interpretations that I am aware of. Maybe there is more. And one of them is basically the same order in which it goes, that we are first grateful to our mother, then father, then our teachers, either it be secular education or otherwise, spiritual teachers, and then Devam, God themselves. And then the other interpretation that I know and I take it to my heart is, first we know our mother, and then mother leads us to father, telling us who our father is. And then that leads to guru, either spiritual education or secular education. And then they all come together to lead us to the God. So the reason I want to share this as an opening statement is because over the period of time, it kind of changed for me, and I will share that towards the end how it changed. My grandfather was a devotee of Swami, and that's from my father's side. And that's how he named myself after Swami, Sai Prabhu. And then all my siblings, I have two siblings, and both of them are named after Swami as well. My sister's name is Satya from Satya Sai Baba, and my brother's name is Prashant from Prashanti Nilayam. So we are all named after. My mother told me once that when she was married, she had to travel with my dad to New Delhi. So we are from Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. But my father was working in a bank, so on transfer he had to work in Delhi. So when she was in Delhi is when she got pregnant with me, and then she used to tell me that in the evenings, because she doesn't know the language, because it's completely different language, they speak Hindi, and my mother didn't know Hindi. She would just wait for my dad to come. So while she was waiting, and I was in her tummy, so she told me that she used to look at Swami's picture. There was one Swami's picture in the living room. So she used to look at Swami's picture. I don't know if she prayed or not, but she used to look at Swami's picture. And I feel those are all the connections that I had with Swami, even though I was not grown up as a traditional Sai devotee. And then the other story that my dad used to tell me is that when he was in Coimbatore, there is a Naga Sai Baba temple, which is Shirdi Sai temple. And without fail, he used to attend that temple every Thursday. So he was very devoted to Shirdi Sai Baba, and he attended Shirdi Sai temple every Thursday, is what he told me. So again, those connections were there even before I was born. And as I was growing up in Coimbatore, it was a very normal life, regular school days, simple things. We were a middle class family, so we only got what we got. However, there were little lessons that I learned from my parents because my mom was very devoted. So she would do pujas regularly. She will take us to temples. And Swami was a god in our altar. So we had this big picture of Swami, which I think my grandfather gave my dad. And he has always been there in our altar. We prayed to him like God. So he has been there from that perspective in our life always. And my one of a few lessons that I learned from my dad that I could share today is, and even though we were not there, meaning we didn't have more than enough to give, whatever we had, my father used to give them like bread or some vegetables or rice, and that made a huge impression, not even though not immediately, but later on in my life when it came to serving others. And the other big lesson is, my father is a naturally happy person. You have to put in a lot of effort to make him unhappy. So that goes back to Swami's teaching about be happy, be happy, be happy, right? Swami has said that in many of his discourses, and it's so natural for him, which stuck on to me as I grew up in my life. Fast forward, the first time I really came to know about Swami was when I started working in Chennai. One of the weekends I was at office just getting some things done. So one of my other friend at work, his name is Karthik. He asked me if I'll be willing to come and serve. What he mentioned to me was Grama Seva. One of the uncles does it. Do you want to come? He needs a lot of young people because it's a lot of heavy lifting of things and taking it from one city to another city or a village. And I said, yeah, it sounds like interesting and fun, because he also mentioned there are other youngsters in the group who we can hang out with. So I said, yeah, immediately I said, yes, I'll come. So I go there one of the Saturdays that was assigned to do Grama Seva. Go there, and this uncle, which later came to know is like the center president of that center there. He, as soon as he saw me, he said, "Come on, Kanna." It's like a Bangaru, in Tamil. Kanna, come, and then he hugged me, and just in the first time seeing him, and it was so genuine that I could feel the love and the emotion right in my heart. It was not like he just made up because I showed up to work, or help him. So that was my first instance knowing Swami through a devotee, the love that I experienced. And then we went to the Grama Seva event. It was like my friend mentioned, it was fun because all the other people in the van were all almost my age group. So we had so much fun talking about cricket, movies, and whatnot, and then also to do some service. And when we came back and when we were about to leave, this uncle told me, "Why don't you come tomorrow to my house?" So I went and I saw Swami's bhajan. So I saw Swami. He had a beautiful statue of Swami, a sitting statue of Swami, and his altar was filled with all the gods from different religions too. And Shirdi Sai Baba's statue was also there. So I was immediately drawn. And then as time was going, in his living room was jam packed, and there are more people coming, and there was more room, there are more people coming, there was more room. I don't know how that room kept expanding for all the people who came for bhajans, but it was amazing experience for me. And as a devotee, I liked Shiva a lot, Lord Shiva a lot. So when somebody sang Shiva bhajans, it was really touching. And I think they, without any mics, it was just natural voice, they threw their heart and soul out to sing the bhajan. I was really touched. So upon reflection, what it helped me realize is this is all Swami's plan, because not that I was, before knowing Swami, I was a bad person, or or a very mischievous child or anything. But in day-to-day life, we tell so many small lies, thinking that it will not impact, or even like try to hide things from others and be partial, and have judgments, small judgments for an youngster. We have all those judgments that we pose on others. So even though all those things started fading away and started making either no sense, or like, oh my God, why did I even do that? So those are all the things that started happening in me as I was starting to attend bhajans and know these people a little more and know a little more about Swami and whatnot. And it was just a couple of years then and I had an opportunity to come to US for work. The first place that I was assigned to was to go to New Jersey. That was my first assignment, and I had a lot of hiccups just getting to the embassy. But after I got to the embassy, for some reason, I was in this queue. It's like a coiled snake like queue, uh, to accommodate as many people as possible in the interview room. And as I was going through this queue, suddenly a random thought came to me, and the thought was that it will be nice if somebody told Swami's name. And in middle of nowhere, I had that thought, and now my mind is thinking about that thought. Now I want that assurance that Swami is with me. Somebody tell that name, and nobody will know that because nobody is calling you by name. You all have a token number, and I was with this thought struggling because now I wanted that assurance. And you'll not believe, there was a pillar and there was a phone attached to the pillar, and that phone rang. And I was thinking to myself, who is calling an embassy and this phone is randomly attached to a pillar? So I was just having that thought and listening to the phone ring. And one of the attending people, part of the embassy, they came and they received the call. And after a second, they looked at everyone and asked, "Who is Sai?" I'm like, "What?" And I didn't answer because I know that was definitely not for me. And literally, they asked, "Who is Sai?" I was like stunned, literally stunned. And I was so happy because I just heard the name Sai, Swami's name, not my name, Swami's name. I was very, very happy. And I said, okay, I got this. I got through this interview. And from then on, all I was thinking was I got through what I need to answer if this question comes, if that question comes. So I was very happy. And by Swami's grace, I also got through my visa and I came to US. And as we were leaving, the friend I mentioned, Karthik, he came a couple of months before me for the same to the same place and to the same project. So he had scoped the land already, and he even found an apartment. So we were going to do a room share and whatnot. Spent a few weeks, and I remember that the uncle asked me to look for centers. I told my friend, and he said, "Yeah, yeah, I already looked, and there is one center in Flushing that I found. So let's go to that center." And as you know, Akhanda Bhajans is very busy time for Sai devotees. And it's not like they are going to recognize every single person walking through the door. But we were fortunate enough to be recognized as new person there, and there because we attended only one bhajans there. And it was amazing experience just going through. We were not there for 24 hours. We were there for but a good chunk of time, but just to see how all the bhajans were conducted and everyone was behaving with, even though there is so much crowd, there was so much order in it, there was so much discipline, and I really loved, because that's when you get to hear a lot of Shiva bhajans. So I was in heavens, because I'm hearing so many Shiva bhajans again and again. So it was so good for me. But the most impressive part was all these little children, they were mischievous at the same time orderly. I don't know how that balance happens. And again, after knowing about SSC, then I realized, okay, this is why. How come children being both mischievous and having a balanced life? And they were, some of them, when we talked to them, they were very mature too. But what stuck really well with me was somebody asked me to take care of the shoes because, as devotees were coming in, the shoes were all over. So they said, "Can you do shoe seva?" And again, for some reason, I thought if God were to come to the center, he would first come and remove his shoes. I didn't know whether Swami wears shoes or not. But anyways, that was my thought. So I said, okay, I'll take that up. And it was not a very pleasant place, because so many shoes and socks. But the thought that God might come and leave his shoes here kept me going. So, and then that's all. That thought ended. But later on, sometimes some devotees said that when Swami comes through, he always looks for orderly shoes, because he wants to make sure that everybody is leaving their shoes in an orderly fashion. And then as days goes by, maybe even a weeks, The uncle we met in Flushing, he asked us where we are from. Obviously, he recognized we are new, so he asked us where we are from, and he said, "You guys don't have to come all the way here. There are centers in New Jersey." And I think he gave a couple of names, and one of them was Bridgewater Center. And we looked up Bridgewater Center. It was about 45 minutes from where we lived. We, again, one of the weekends, we went there to Bridgewater Center. And at this point, I want to say Bridgewater Center is the next big step in my life that completely changed my life, completely changed my perspective. And I'm ever grateful to all the devotees to the then Bridgewater Center, because they were after this uncle, they were my next set of swamis, because they poured so much love. They showed me what it means to be a Sai devotee. They showed me how to behave as a Sai devotee. And I also I don't want to take everybody's name because I'm afraid that I might miss some, but everyone had a huge, huge impact in my life. And I want to take upon one name, Sanjay Murli, because he was our YA advisor. And I also did not know what YA meant at that time. But he kind of introduced us to the YA group there, and they were so loving, and I'm ever grateful for them too, because they were the ones who shaped me up as a YA. Even though the center shaped me holistically, they shaped me as a YA, and what we do and how we interact and how we help each other and things like that. So after a few weeks, we were on and off. We were not regular to the center. And Sanjay always encouraged us to come, and he even made phone calls asking us to come. He even invited us to his home, giving us food and giving us different perspective about. He knew that we were new, so he used to give us some cultural input, lifestyle, and he gave us so much more than just introducing us to Swami. And even then, with all his efforts, not just Sanjay, a lot of people would call us and make sure that we are attending center, but he was very persistent in his efforts. But one day, Sanjay asked me, "Why are you late?" or "Why are you guys not able to come?" And we were telling we were too busy. And he made a statement which was very profound and which stuck to me, which again changed my life. I think he said something to the effect of, "Nobody died thinking that they could have worked a little more," So I think I don't know if it is word by word, but that's something that he said. And that made a very profound impact in both of us. And we realized, yeah, that's true. Nobody died saying that they could have done a little more work. So that changed our perspective, and we started getting better. Not that we started attending every week. We got better. And then one other thing Sanjay did was, I keep saying Sanjay because he really made a big impact in our lives. He realized what kind of things that we like. He kind of understood what we like. And one of the things he started understanding was that we like to have so much fun and we like to act. And he started giving a lot of opportunities in terms of plays. He would put us in different plays, both at center plays, YA plays. And just looking back, I don't know how many plays I have acted on, and I'm really happy about it, because those were all the plays through which again I started getting Swami's lessons and how to be a person in this world, to expand ourselves, not just for our own benefit but also for the benefit of the world. So that's something he did, and again that kind of started helping us in terms of growing spiritually also. And then since I did not grow up as a traditional Sai devotee, again, Sai literature was not a big thing in my life. But I remember, I think I subscribed to an email that comes. I still don't know where it comes from, but every day morning we get an email with Swami's message. And there will be a paragraph of Swami's message when he said that, like discourse so and so, year and date. So I love the one-liner messages from Swami, and I every day I used to open that email, And then I look at that one liner and then, okay, Swami, oh, that's a good message. I mean, not that I'm acknowledging Swami for that, but I'm like, okay, I can practice that. I can practice it. It's very simple, just one line, very straightforward. Swami talks about watch. And one devotee, when he was sharing his experience with Swami, he said Swami told him or a group of boys that, yeah, when somebody is going through something and when you watch it, you should go and take action, whether they ask for it or not, something to that effect, So the more I did Swami's work, or quote unquote Swami's work, or doing service, my work pressure was reducing, things were getting better. So later on, again, when some Sai devotee was sharing that Swami's message that you do my work, and then I'll do yours, came into full circle for me when I started seeing this difference in my life. So again, it was not like I got the message first and then I started doing. It was the reverse for me. So I start doing something and Swami will reveal his presence, or Swami will give me the assurance that, okay, these are all my things, these are all my teachings. So that's how I feel very blessed in my life. And to add to more of my experiences, one other thing is when I was growing up, we used to have a small pot in front of our house, and there was a plant that is growing which is called as a table rose. I have never seen that plant in the US, but back in India it's called table rose. Like my mom used to tell me, as soon as I came back from school, I would go and ask her for leftover tea leaves, because somebody told that putting tea leaves to the plant will help the plant get its nutrition and whatnot. So I would ask for that, and I water it, and I put tea leaves. So my connection to nature was very personal, like that, just with one plant. But upon reflection, what happened is, I think when I was with the YA group in New Jersey, one of the YAs, Regina, she asked me if I want to be part of a Go Green effort. I think at that time it was called as a Go Green House. So I said yes. And the reason I said yes was because I felt connected to that one plant, that I was taking care. And this saying yes to this one opportunity has opened up so many things in my life, where I learned even more about Swami, even more about nature, and I'm able to appreciate a lot of things and not take things for granted. So another story that resonates with me is that I used to listen to this one Sai Bhajan CD. And one day I randomly thought, I was driving by myself. I randomly thought, oh, it'll be nice if I can think that Swami is sitting next to me, in this seat, because I have seen videos of Swami going in the car, you know. So I felt that, okay, this seat, if nobody is there in the passenger seat to my right, I always feel like Swami is sitting there. So that was my thought. And ever since I got that thought, anytime the passenger seat is vacant, I always thought, okay, Swami is sitting here. So if I bought a bouquet of flowers to take it to center or temple, instead of putting it in the back seat, I always put it in the front passenger seat, thinking that I'm offering it to Swami. That was kind of my thought. Or if I'm going for, let's say I'm going for some kind of an interview per se, I would put that my application or whatever files I'm carrying in that seat, with the thought that I'm getting blessings from Swami. So that's my thought. And my life kept going, and one day I was hearing to a talk by a Sai devotee. I mean, I don't know what the full context, but Swami gave her the assurance that he was always sitting in that seat. So when I heard that story, I was like, oh my God, thank you, Swami, for putting that thought in me, because I'm also thinking the same thing. I'm giving that seat to you when it is empty, and I feel like you are sitting there. And as we grow in Sai Fold and know more about Swami, now my thought is that not only when it is empty, even if somebody is there, I just think Swami is in their form, So that's the kind of growth, spiritual growth that Swami gives to us and in me, that this is everybody is Swami and you should start seeing Swami in everyone. So those are the things that kind of small stories. Upon reflection, I feel like Swami, even though he was not in the in my life as how traditional Sai devotees would experience, but he was still there in the form of messages, in the form of thought, in the form of things that I did, which connect back to his story. And I feel very blessed for it, because I felt, again, upon reflection, I feel like Swami was always been in my life and I did not miss anything. The one difference I would still like to say is that knowing that what life is like without Swami and what life is like with Swami, my focus on transformation was growing a lot within me. So, as Swami says, he's here for us to recognize our inherent divinity. So I really take that to my heart, and I try to focus on the transformation journey. I started off saying that, Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam, and the change I want to make in that, especially when it comes to spiritual growth, is that I would like to say, or at least in my opinion, I would like to say, is Mata, Pita, Guru, Sai family or Sai devotees, and then Deva. I would like to introduce them in that order, because literally, like I said, the then Bridgewater Sai members are the ones who showed Swami to me. And that kind of summarizes my life in short, in terms of how my journey started and how it is going, and how I would like to summarize the importance of Sai family and Sai devotees in our life.
Sairam, Sai Prabhu, thank you so much for sharing your journey. In fact, like you mentioned, your grandfather named you as Sai Prabhu. And when you were in your mother's belly, Swami was giving you darshan and kind of already decided your destination, that you are going to be serving in this manner. But your journey of getting to where you are now has given you this powerful sense of his presence.
Mhm.
Even when you knew, even before you knew he was God himself, to discovering he is God. Although
Yeah,
the Swami picture was always with you, there's a difference between having Swami picture and then having Swami's picture.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So, so he's always been with you, but now through Sai devotees, particularly when as a young adult, moving away from your parents, and then you were actually attracted by service,
Mhm.
right? And you went to service, but this uncle came so warmly to you and
Right.
welcomed you and said, "Come to my home tomorrow." Okay.
Mhm.
And okay, through prasad, maybe Swami hooks you, but there's more to it than just the
Right.
prasad, right? And you got that vibration of the Shiva bhajan, you got the vibration, understanding of what bhajans are, and the little seeds were being
Mhm.
sprout. I wouldn't say seeds were being put in because it was already there.
Mhm.
I think they started sprouting, right?
Right.
And then, of course, him guiding you to, when you go to New Jersey, find a Sai center,
Mhm.
and then Sai devotees there selflessly guiding you, holding you up so you can thrive,
Right.
right? And the entire Sai center members, and it is, I can kind of resonate how much of a powerful role Sai devotees play in a Sai center
Mhm.
to new members who walk in, who may know Swami or may not know Swami, either way to make them feel welcome and feeling Swami's love. That love that's felt there is Swami's presence right there.
Right.
And then early on, when you're discovering what service is all about and understanding who Swami is and all of those things, you get to do shoe service.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate blessing.
Right.
Right. And I do love how you mentioned that you would do things because it seemed the intuition was telling you this is right. But then
Mhm.
Swami later on came and in some way, form or the other, through talks, other side devotees, telling you that this is the way of life,
Mhm.
right? And so that gives you a stronger connection to Swami because you know that he was there with you before you
Mhm.
even learned it in the worldly sense.
Right.
So many blessings, and genuinely feeling Swami's presence in your life. And this is still a journey that maybe 10 years down the line, you look back and say, this was my intuition, and this is how Swami has always been with me. So thank you, Sai Prabhu, for being here and sharing this awesome story for Sai Soul 100.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sairam, dear listeners, thank you for listening to Sai Soul 100 with Sai Prabhu Prem Kumar. I'm Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sairam.